Hello and welcome to an exciting webinar today. We have not only a packed agenda, but we also have a large number of well-known experts to share their insights on this particular topic. So today's topic is really about driving innovation that can support your cloud journey. So what does that really mean? We're hoping to address three questions in the session today. Firstly, how can cloud drive business innovation and new opportunities for your organization? What does it mean to you, as the second question, as a user of the digital solutions portfolio? And lastly, how to get started. And I'm thrilled that you're not only going to get perspectives from four of our cloud hosting MSPs, but also two of our lab services leaders as well. One point of housekeeping, we have made all of the slides available as handouts. There will be a formal Q&A section today. And if we don't answer all of your questions, we will post a blog as we usually do with all of your questions answered. So let's get started. Next slide, please. So my name's Andrew Manby. I head up Digital Solutions Product Management. And today from HCL, I'm joined by three people. First, I have the pleasure of introducing Alex Mulholland, who's our Chief Platform Architect at HCL Software, and the person that brought our HCL Sophie solution to bear. Now, don't worry if you don't know what that is. Alex is going to take you through that. I'm also joined by Dan McCoo and Stuart McKay, who are the global directors of lab services. Dan for digital solutions, for digital experience, and then Stu for digital solutions. So that's Domino and SameTime. So they're going to offer their perspective. Next slide, please. And I have the pleasure of introducing some people that I've known for a while. Firstly is Sandra Buehler from Belsoft in Switzerland, who as Belsoft is an expert in connections. Now we also have Guillaume Gisnel, who's the CEO and founder of Connelink, who's an expert in Domino and connections. We have Wannes, who's an expert in connections and also Domino, and Daniele Vestali from Factory Y here, who's an expert in our portfolio, including DX as well today. And they're going to be joining us for our panel discussion. So let's get us started. So I'm going to ask Alex to give an introduction into our HCL Cloud Native strategy. Over to you, Alex.
Thanks, Andrew. And what I'd like to do is explain the technical approach that we've taken to adopting cloud native technologies with our products in HCL Software. And what we did, and this started a number of years ago, was that we focused specifically on the challenges that our own clients and business partners face when they are trying to adopt cloud native technologies. And what we discovered was that these challenges tended to fall roughly into three different categories. First of all, the initial choice of cloud platform. Secondly, the flexibility to move both across different platforms and both in and out of the data center between private cloud and public cloud. And thirdly, addressing the skills gap in these technologies, particularly with the Kubernetes technology and operating workloads on Kubernetes. So choice of cloud platform first. And when we began this work, a number of our product development teams were already working with IBM to adapt the products to run on the Red Hat OpenShift Kubernetes platform. And this actually turned out to be quite typical of enterprise software vendors, that they would prefer or even mandate a particular cloud platform to run their software on. And sometimes it's even that they would only offer the software as a SaaS offering on a single cloud platform. So it was really locking their clients in to one particular cloud platform. But when we talked to our existing customers and business partners, we found that they were, the ones who were already using Kubernetes were all using different different Kubernetes providers. And the ones who were planning all wanted to use different clouds. Some were using the big four, Amazon, Google, Azure, OpenShift, but many were actually using smaller providers or even running open source Kubernetes in their own data center. So it was very clear to us from the outset that we had to give our users a complete choice of the Kubernetes platform that they would run our software on. The second one, flexibility. So things change very quickly in the cloud, and costs can quickly become very high. We've seen this ourselves as we've been using various public cloud platforms. And so what you need is the flexibility to move quickly and at low cost. This helps you both to, say you have an application that has grown quickly, you've taken advantage of the elasticity, the resource availability in public cloud, but once that workload has stabilized and the growth is more predictable, you might find that it reduces your costs if you bring it in-house. Perhaps by that time, your own IT team have built those Kubernetes skills, so you have the ability to bring it in-house and save cost. Another example is that if you're with a public cloud provider and your costs are increasing, if you have that flexibility to move easily and quickly, that gives you a lot of leverage in negotiating the prices that you're paying to your existing cloud provider. So that flexibility to move is really critical to business agility. And then on the cloud native skills gap, we found, 4 or 5 years ago, Kubernetes skills were just not to be had in the marketplace. And it hasn't changed that much today. They're really difficult. It's difficult to hire people who have these existing skills. So we've been training people, but that takes time, and to hire them is difficult. So we realized that as we enabled our software technically to run on Kubernetes, we had to make it both really easy to get started on Kubernetes and really easy to move across platforms. And those were all technical requirements that fed into what we were building and what we were doing. Next slide, please. So as I said, we began this journey around 5 years ago, and we've made a really major investment here across all of the product teams and in my team, the platform team. So we have taken all of the products and we have enabled them to run in containers. So the container technology is at the core of this. And then all of those containers are orchestrated through Kubernetes. And so that's the platform that we run on, and that's the only prereq that we have here. It's just Kubernetes and any flavor of Kubernetes. And then the packaging, which controls the installation and the update of the software, all of that uses Helm technology. So these are all open, non-proprietary technologies, all really embraced by the technical community and a core part of the cloud native technologies that the whole industry has been moving towards. The user interfaces you will have seen in the most recent releases of this software, all of the UIs have been updated and modernized. But what we're doing under the covers at the same time is exposing the function, the capabilities of the product through open REST APIs. And this gives you much more access into all of that existing capability and more ability to automate and to integrate the functions available that are fronting your data in your software and making that available through these new APIs. And then the next thing that we did, and this is what's been happening in my team, is that we built a platform, the Sophie platform. And this helps both with the simplicity, the ease of use, by providing common services that give a consistent interface across all cloud platforms and help you get started easily with Kubernetes, but also in getting access to the software and to try it out. The next slide, please. So HCL Sophie is a website, and all entitled customers and business partners can get access to this website and use it at no additional cost. So the first thing you will see when you come to Sophie is a catalog. So the catalog contains all of our software products enabled, as I've just described, in containers with Kubernetes orchestration and wrapped in Helm charts to control the packaging, the installation, and the updates. And so on this Sophie site, you can browse the catalog and find all of these products in their cloud native format. You can select the product or the set of products that you want to run in Kubernetes. And then Sophie also contains a set of tools that will dynamically wrap your custom package, whatever you pick from the catalog. It wraps those products in this set of Sophie platform services. And the platform services are what provide this insulation from cloud vendor lock-in. They're just a set of small lightweight services that make your package portable across all Kubernetes environments. So once you've built your package, you can click to deploy in our sandbox to try things out, kick the tires, run a demo. We also have pieces of demo software, so this is data and configuration, that you can add into the product package so that you can get a meaningful demo and try the product out using that demo data to really understand what it does. And though that sandbox installation you can run just for a few hours, or you can run it for as long as 30 days. So you can really get your teeth into the product and give it a good 30-day trial running in our sandbox at no cost to you. If you want to take that package and install it in your own Kubernetes environment, in your own cloud account or your own data center, then you can download that Helm package and install it and run the software using your existing licenses in your own Kubernetes environment. As I said, these packages are completely portable across any flavor of Kubernetes, so you can run on one or more clouds of your choosing or any kind of Kubernetes. Next slide, please. So the Sophie packaging and the Sophie services make it easy to get started with Kubernetes and easy to run there. But still, for some customers, there's still too much of a skills gap, that they want to get the benefits of cloud native now, but they don't yet have the skills to run that themselves in their own cloud account. And so to help to fill that gap, we have a new service called HCL Now. And this is where we will run your software for you in the cloud of your choosing using our Kubernetes expertise. Now, this is not a SaaS offering. This is not a shared platform. Each installation is a bespoke installation for an individual customer. So we can migrate the existing data from the customer installation into the HCL Now installation. You can have connections back to systems in your own data center or your own cloud account. It's fully secure, but it's very highly customized bespoke service with HCL Now. And again, it's very important. We're not trying to lock you into this service. We're just trying to help you use our software and to get the benefits of cloud native technologies as quickly as possible. And so there's no lock-in. And if after a period of time you decide that you're now ready to take that back in-house, or you've found a partner that you would like to work with to host this for you, we will help you move it as well. We have no intention of trying to lock people into this service. It's just to enable you to get the benefits of cloud native as quickly as possible. Next slide, please. And the other choice here, and this is what we're going to talk about a lot more on the call today, is to partner with a cloud hosting managed service provider, or CHMSP. So these are companies that we partner with who have very strong expertise in our products and in hosting our products. And this is more like a SaaS offering, where the pricing is more likely to be a per user, per month subscription. The services, the installations may be shared. In some cases they're shared, in some cases they're not. This program provides global coverage. We have CHMSPs all around the globe, and so that helps with data residency requirements. As I said, these folks are absolute experts in our products and really understand how to run them and how to host them for a wide variety of customers. This is also a way to get a couple of the products, Connections and Domino Mail Server, which are not available in the HCL Now service. They are available through the CHMSP program. Next slide. So, as I said, we have enabled the software from a technical perspective in containers using Kubernetes and Helm charts, but you still have a choice about how and where you would run or the software would be run for you. You can go with a partner, a cloud hosting MSP, get started very quickly at a lower cost. You can do it yourself. You can package the software using the Sophie tooling and then install in your own Kubernetes environment and have your own operations team take care of that. Or you can partner with us for a more customized, bespoke experience with HCL Now. And with that, I'll hand back to Andrew to continue with the rest of the program. Thanks, Andrew.
Thanks, Alex, and thanks for that great overview. I do want to tip my hat and thank you for the work that you and the team did in producing Sophie. I know many of us have been enthralled by getting DX, SameTime, and Domino Vault up and running in there, and it's been a great experience. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew, and I would encourage everyone to go to Sophie and give it a go. It's very, very easy. Thanks.
Yep. Great. So let's turn to the panel that we have assembled today of our experts. I should also point out ambassadors as well. So Sandra, Guillaume, Wannes, and Danelli. So I have some questions, right? I have 4 questions to reveal or get into the insights of the questions I posed at the beginning. So let's go to the first question, Jan. So the first question is, why are you excited about HCL Software's focus on cloud native? And maybe I'll ask that question of Sandra and Danelli here.
Yeah, I was impressed to see how
Guillaume, sorry.
Guillaume, yeah, okay. But I take the go here. I was impressed to see on how HCL focused on the development of the products they took over a few years ago. We have seen fast release cycles, and we could profit from the new functions and improvements on all products. The fact that HCL is now investing heavily on those products, that they got installed easier and that those products are now ready for any cloud, is great news for all of us. While HCL can offer cloud-ready products on HCL Now, we as cloud hosting partners are also faster in providing our hosting services. Every business partner is also faster in providing hosting services and can support their customers. And also the customers themselves are much faster and they can reduce their technical investment with a more modern technology approach if a customer chooses to rely on their own infrastructure. We always wanted a vendor who is investing in the products we all love, and HCL is doing exactly this.
Great. I would seem to have lost. There's Guillaume. Hey, Guillaume.
Hi. Thanks to HCL Cloud Native strategy, it's very easy for us to deploy and update new version of HCL Digital Solutions software hosted by our different cloud providers. We are constantly providing new services, functionalities, and innovation for customers so that they can activate in the cloud with a single click by themselves, HCL Domino Mail, apps, SameTime, chat, meetings, connection, and Vault. Given the ease and faster speed of deployment, we can also reduce the maintenance of cost of cloud solution and therefore provide competitive pricing in comparison to the markets. This capability allows us to package HCL on-premise software within a SaaS collaboration solution, which we can deploy on any data center, public, private, or hybrid. With the cloud native strategy, HCL gives you the choice of your data localization strategy.
That's great, Sandra and Guillaume there. So let's move to the second question. The second question I have here is, what should customers know before moving their deployments to the cloud, right? And maybe that question back to Guillaume, to you, and also Danelli. Danelli, do you want to go first?
No problem, and thank you. Well, what we learned is that moving to the cloud requires careful planning to achieve success. So it's important for customers to understand what they get and what they leave. Cloud is different and has many advantages, but it's important to set expectations. So what we suggest and tell customers all the time is to test us out, to try our services and to see how it respects their expectation. We have seen so many companies doing a cloud move to other platforms and then ending up too late, understanding that what they were getting was not what they expected. So at this point, the other item customers need to know is that cloud is not your backyard, so it's an open ocean, and new challenges with regard to identity, security management, and performance management need to be addressed. We are doing all of these with HCL that brought us the products that we run in Kubernetes since day one, and we are matching those up with other leaders like Okta, Sumo Logic, and Cloudflare to offer the ideal service. So we enhance Domino and connections to get that. It's important for customers to test out and understand what they are getting. That's what I think about.
That's great. Dene, I like the way you said open ocean there. You know, the cloud is an open ocean, and that's not necessarily a good thing. That's great. Guillaume.
So if you are an European company, it's important to respect GDPR and ensure that you are not at risk by the Cloud Act, for example. This can be done if no service data are accessible by a US company. It's also necessary to consider in your strategy the data allocation and availability of SaaS services. Your cloud targets proposing physical redundancy in several data centers, multi-cloud provider option, advanced hybrid to prevent local internet outage, for example, company on an island. To ensure a smooth transition, it's critical to have a strong change management plan also. By continuing to use clients like MS Outlook or HCL Notes as an interface, for example, you can minimize disruption for employees and ease adoption. In terms of migration, you also want to avoid disruption and make sure employees always have access to their data. This can be achieved with cohabitation. Essentially, your data lives in both your current collaboration software as well as the new one during the migration projects. It's also important to think critically about your collaboration needs. Will guests need access on accounts? What cloud services I need for collaboration for each user? Can I match functionality and prices in order to pay the right price? Write a functional need specification will be very important to move to the cloud. To finish, the legacy part will be also important for the choice. Mail compliance, reversibility, software level agreements, time availability engagement are topics we need to be decided before moving to the cloud.
That's great advice, Sarah, and I fully appreciate that we're just scratching the tip of the iceberg here, and we'll certainly have the opportunity to delve into a little bit more in the Q&A, but certainly we'll be encouraging all of you to reach out to our cloud hosting MSPs here. All right, so let's hit question number 3 here. What top 3 things should customers know to feel assured about HCL's strategy? So maybe that question to Wannes and Danelli. Do you want to go first, Wannes?
Thanks, Daniel. I think what impresses me is the investment from HCL in delivering very short delivery cycles, and now also being able to deliver the software in a very modern, state-of-the-art way, which makes it also very much easier to upgrade fast and lower your costs of deployment and focus more on the business value of what you want to do with the actual software. I think with the cloud native strategy that's there now, the fact that you can deploy where you want and how you want it, whether you do it on premise in the cloud with HCL or your preferred CHMSP, or in a hybrid model, my personal favorite, just gives a business the opportunity to do whatever they need that fits their own IT strategies without having to adapt to a software vendor strategy. I think that's very important. You don't want to be changing your internal strategy just because the software you're using is changing. And maybe less focused on this presentation, but what I've always loved about the HCL software is the choice of platforms you can deploy on, which is very different than many other software vendors and gives you more choice to deploy.
Great, Wannes. Danelli? Oh, I think you're muted.
Now it's fine. So what I noticed working with many vendors is that, especially vendors with a long history, tend to protect what they've got, and often they fail to modernize. What I noticed working with HCL for the last few years, because it's years we are working together, and what makes me confident about what's happening is that HCL has what I call the understanding of the modernize or die need. So they are moving on wherever, everywhere. And a second item is that they are fully embracing this modernization across all the portfolio, so there are no areas lagging behind. And finally, the HCL is fully executing this strategy incrementally, because if you look at how rich is the portfolio, how complex and powerful products like Domino have become, it takes time to move into the cloud native. Now we have been running Domino on Kubernetes for the last 14 months in production and learning so much, and every release improves a bit, adds a feature, and makes it even more productive and cost effective for us. This is what I expected from HCL on day one, and this is what is happening to us. We are working in tandem with HCL that's building the product to build the intelligence around it. So we have started developing operator-based orchestration for Domino that can work not just in our data center, but in any customer data center. So we are very, very focused on seeing what's happening and what we will get from HCL. And that's it.
That's great. And it actually reminds me, there's two points for me. One is you said about hybrid, right? Meeting the customer where they are in their deployment. I think that's very important. And then Ellie, we've been on a journey with cloud native. It's not something that just came out with V12 or 196 of DX. This has been something we've been on a journey for a number of years now. And its partners and ambassadors like yourselves, like all the folks on the phone here, have really helped to shape that strategy. So thank you for that. Moving to the last question, number 4 here. As cloud hosting managed service providers, how should customers think about your services and working with you? So that question's to Sandra and to Wannes. Let us know what they should think about it. Oh, Sandra, I think, yep.
Now I got it. Okay. Yeah, as a CHMSPs, we are focused on the solutions of HCL collaboration products to serve our customers. We all have a history of doing exactly that for a very long time already. So our experience helps us to fulfill our contracts. But what is in our DNA is curiosity. We want to be always on top of technology. So we are eager to embrace new solutions and new technology. While we are all geeks and nerds, nevertheless, customers are in the center of our thinking. So a smooth integration of what we have as a solution into the solution of customers, what they already have on their part, or the other way around. This is something we are doing on a daily base, right? And that we know that not one size fits all, that different languages are a reality. Also, like different security, data law security laws. This is something that is for us very important. This is our strength. We want to listen and we want to execute accordingly.
Great. Wannes?
Again, I'll mute as well. What's most important to know about ISW is that we're not a big anonymous box. We talk to our customers talk to us. We know every leading technical person, but also main business people at our customers by name, and they know us by name as well. We jump on calls, we listen to what they need. And even though we offer it in the cloud in a multi-tenant, or if needed, a single tenant solution, we will do the same as we used to do on-prem as a business partner. We will tailor it to their needs so that helps grow their business. We're not an Amazon or Microsoft that just offers one solution and you either take it or leave it. We will just do whatever it needs to make sure that the customer is happy.
That's great. And that's great. And I think just to reinforce the point that I said earlier is all of you are ambassadors and have a long tenure with the product, right? And have a long established relationship with us. So that certainly makes getting stuff done much easier. And I really appreciate all your business. So the panel, we're done with the panel. They'll be available for a Q&A a little bit later. Now let's switch gears a second and move into the what we have to offer. So I'm going to invite Dan and also Stu. Let's find where Stu is.
Hi.
There he is. Come in, Canada. So let's dive into a little bit about our offering. So Dan, as I mentioned, represents the digital experience, or DX, and then Stu's going to talk about Domino and SameTime. But before we do that, let's move to the next slide, please, Jan. I wanted to dive in a little bit more and give people a little bit more of a landscape because I know there will be questions coming. So as Alex mentioned, all of the products which are mentioned or shown on this diagram, whether it's Domino Vault, whether it's DX, whether it's SameTime or Domino Vault, are available and accessible from the Sophie catalog. Vault MX is going to be there very shortly, which is going to redirect you to our Vault MX cloud. But essentially, this has been the focus for our effort here. A couple of important things to sort of point out. One is that the licensing with respect to the HCL Now managed service is a bring your own license model. So that's for customers who already have licenses in place. So if you're a CCB customer for Domino, you'll be able to bring that to HCL Now. Same time with at the same time, for SameTime Premium, the SameTime Premium part numbers are the ones you can bring to the cloud. And then there are very specific term parts for DX that you can bring to the cloud. Now, in the case of Vault MX, it's already in its own AWS hosted cloud, and we will be getting that onto Sophie as a native set of containers early next year. But this is the realm that we operate in. A couple of important things to also point out is, as far as Domino is concerned, it's an apps only strategy. There is no mail service provided in that, and that's very specific because we think that that's really the purview of our cloud hosting MSPs, and they really have the expertise in that area. The other thing you notice here is Connections isn't on the list, and that's because we have a very specific version of Connections called Connections MT, and we provide that specifically to the cloud hosting MSPs so they can stand up a service with Connections as well. Now, on today's call, we've really helped to sort of try to put a bow around our strategy, both with our partners and with the HCL managed service strategy. But in terms of the availability and the pricing of the managed service and the infrastructure, that will be coming in the October-November timeframe. So we will be in touch. We will be giving you more details, but we'll give you right now, by handing over to Dan and Stu, give you details of what that service will likely look like coming in October, November, December timeframe. So with that, over to you, Dan.
All right, thanks, Andrew. Yeah, so I just wanted to take a couple of minutes here and hit on some of the highlights of what we see as the benefits of the DX Now service, DX specifically on the Now platform. And one of the things start out with is that, when talking to customers who already have an investment in DX on premise, or even if they're hosting it themselves in their own cloud, in a lot of cases they're running older versions of the software. And so when we move to the Now platform, we can help you to upgrade as part of that process. We only run the latest versions in the DX Now environment. So that, part of the lab services team can help to get that process done and get you upgraded to the latest versions. Once you're there and in the Now environment, then the next benefit is timely upgrades, right? So we keep you up to date, keep the platform up to date, and there's a lot of investment and a lot of change happening with the products. A lot of new capabilities being developed, existing capabilities being enhanced, and so we know that can be difficult sometimes to keep up with, and so we help you there, and then that allows you to take advantage of those things in your solutions that you're building on top of the platform. The next one there is elasticity, and so part of what Kubernetes and containers gives you is the ability to kind of scale up and down easily. We build into the service description for the service a certain range of I guess capacity, and so you have the ability to kind of, if you have peaks in your and valleys in your sort of usage, then you can handle those without having to necessarily plan for and scale to or purchase the peak level of infrastructure and run that all of the time. And then the other thing that this lets you do is kind of focus on delivering business value to your customers, right, or your audience. So while we handle all of the kind of core operational services like patching and backing up and security and all of that stuff, that allows you to focus on the things that differentiate you from your competition and improve your services to your end users. And then the last one here is I think Alex mentioned and several others have mentioned that this is a single tenant service, right? And so we're very focused on allowing you to keep control of your data and your customizations, your code assets, and then being able to have the flexibility to take that with you if you want to switch to different cloud providers, switch to different services, that kind of thing. We support that, and we help you to do that. So next slide, please. And then I won't read all of these, but just kind of some of the things that you get as part of this service. One, on the multiple environments. So, we are going to provide you with both non-production and production environments as part of the sort of standard service there, so that you have the ability to, develop things, test them, and then roll them out to a production environment. I mentioned the auto scaling and the elasticity that you get, geographic distribution, so you have the ability to choose which cloud data centers your stuff runs in, so that if you have requirements around data residency and things like that, we can help to meet that that way. And then I think Alex mentioned being able to connect back to on-premise services, which with DX is a very common thing. So we will, as part of the infrastructure, we provide VPN connections back to your on-premise network. And so if you have applications and things that you are surfacing through your portal, that gives you the ability to access that data and those services. It's the full DX platform, right? And so if you're familiar with the DX product and some of the things that have been going on there lately, that a number of things like services and capabilities are only offered as containers. And so, by running in the DX Now environment, you get access to all of that, right? And so you have the digital asset management system, the content composer, design studio, and then as we roll out new capabilities and new features, you will have that will get deployed there as well. Right? And then the last one that I'll mention is the CI/CD pipeline. So we will also, as part of this, set up some standard CI/CD pipelines using some of the tooling that we've added into the product or enhanced in the product in recent releases to allow you to deploy your code and so forth in a standardized way. So and then just there's kind of all the standard things that are provided by the managed service, right, in terms of security, service, uptime, SLAs, the ability to access support 24/7 and all of that. So Stu, I'll hand it over to you to talk about Domino and SameTime.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. That looks awesome. So I'm going to switch gears for a couple minutes and talk about Domino and SameTime. So first of all, Domino, we're really excited to introduce Domino on HCL Now. It's a full end-to-end cloud solution for Domino applications. And really, it fills an important need for Domino customers that are struggling to maintain their Domino environments by providing a secure private cloud environment that runs version 12 of Domino. So some of the key benefits that you can see on this slide include modernization. And obviously, we talk a lot about Domino modernization, but I really think that Domino Now provides that conduit for customers. Having that V12 environment in the cloud, easily accessible, in their choice of data centers, along with Nomad Web, provides the ability for customers really to take advantage of modernizing their applications, and most importantly, simplifying the desktop, right? Potentially, using web browsers to access their applications and reducing their dependency on Notes clients and really reducing their overall desktop costs. We also provide software updates for the environment. So once customers come into our environment, we do provide software updates, and they can immediately start, taking advantage of new capabilities in the environment as well. Obviously, as Alex, started off the conversation today around single tenancy and the importance of, having your data in the environment, reducing your skills dependencies for hard to find, Domino resources in the environment, and then finally right-sizing the environment as well. So we do provide a number of professional services and optional services around the environment and the onboarding process that can help customers, right-size the environment, do some rationalization of their applications as well, and really help customers with the upgrade of those applications and the movement of those applications into the environment. So that might actually be, more around consolidation, but for other customers, it actually might be getting the applications closer to the users geographically by taking advantage of our global data center network, and having, instead of having, static data centers, corporate data centers, traditionally they can move into more of a cloud data center model where they have those applications on those servers, more geographically distributed and, better performance for their end users as well. Next slide, please. So, similar to, the previous slides, just a quick highlight of some of the features that you get with, Domino and HCL Now. So obviously 24/7 support, your choice of global data centers, a catalog of optional services, including, as I mentioned, the onboarding services, consolidation and optimization of your applications, and application support as well. So there's a lot of things that go into this Domino environment that make it, incredibly feature rich for our customers. Okay, Jan, next slide, please. I'm going to talk a little bit about SameTime Now as well. So SameTime Now is really an environment that provides the ability for customers to get up and running fast. So I really, consider this to be the easy button for our customers that want to take advantage of the new, versions of SameTime. So again, going back to what Alex talked about earlier, the three key drivers for our cloud native strategy is really around, the choice of cloud platforms, the flexibility to move, and, kind of closing that cloud native skills gap. And SameTime on HCL Now really achieves all three of those through really providing, predefined, sizings and auto scaling for our customers, so they can really come in, get up and running really quickly, eliminating the complexities around deploying Kubernetes themselves. And we've really turned it, SameTime Now into a real turnkey solution for our customers. Again, for customers that are running older versions of SameTime or other web web meeting technologies, once you now, you're really in an environment that is continually updated and sort of a continuous evergreening process. So you don't have to worry about upgrades anymore. It happens as part of the service. Obviously, one of our big feature points of SameTime is, it's your cloud, your data. So having that single tenancy environment in the environment is very, very important. And some of the add-on features that we provide for SameTime Now as well, including audio conferencing capabilities, both for customers that have existing audio conferencing services, you can bring those with you into this environment and continue to take advantage of them. Or if you're a customer that's looking to take advantage of global dial-in or global carrier services, we have partners as part of our SameTime Now environment that we can get you connected with and get you up and running fast as well. Next slide, please. Hey, Jan, I didn't see the slide move. Sorry. Oh, there we go. Perfect. So, and again, just to sort of summarize, the pinwheel diagram here around SameTime Now and what you get, really a holistic solution for our customers around running SameTime Now in a cloud native environment. So obviously cloud security. So we have best in class, certifications for our cloud environments for all of our offerings. In HCL Now, so ISO certifications, PCI compliance, simple to size environments. So we're working from a lot of experience around how to size these. So we can do on the spot sizings and capacity planning for you. Optional telephony integration that we talked about as well. So bringing those global dial-in numbers from your existing carrier or signing up with one of our partners around global dial-in capabilities as well. 24/7 support and real-time chat through our portal. Onboarding services are other things that we provide for SameTime Now as well. So whether that be just helping you get up and running quickly through best practices and working with our professional services organization, or maybe it's around implementing a center of excellence around web meetings and web conferencing services. We're here to help you be successful with this deployment as well. And obviously all of this backed with our service management and uptime guarantees as well. So all the things that you would expect from a industry leading cloud meeting service. And with that, Andrew, I'm going to hand it back to you for the next slide.
That's great. Thanks, Stu, and thanks, Dan. So let's go into the Q&A section. The questions have been coming in thick and fast. I'm not sure we'll be able to get to all of them, but excuse me, let's dive in here. The first question went back to something I was saying about Domino Mail, and as I mentioned, that is not a use case or a pattern that we're supporting on HCL Now. Strategically, we think that's something for our cloud hosting MSPs are good at, very good at, in fact, and are actually offering services in that direction. So I don't know if Guillaume or Danelli want to comment on that.
Well, mail is a different beast than applications. So handling mail often has complexities that also mandates some decision on the customer side. Just think about security, edge, the security, antivirus, and so on. We have been building that with customers for the last few months, and you get into many variables. I want to use my anti-spam system. I want to use your cloud provided one. I want to integrate with my application. And we have customers with Outlook support. We have customers with all, and that's where we started with the previous experience on what was Smart Cloud to answer customers' needs. And at times you need to tailor so much to implement and to support them. I think that each MSP has its own opinionated implementation of that. And it's all built to optimize and to listen to what customers are asking. So that's what we do every day. Just in the last 14 months, we changed the way we manage storage 4 times completely, because every quarter we learn something about the amount of data, and mail is also the most storage intensive service, because it's easy to have a 20 terabytes customer around. It's a bit less. I mean, from my experience, we have less customer with that much data for application, and they have different interest needs. So it's something that we are happy to do and that we can improve. And also we have a lot of requests for something that you're going to deliver in the future about open client. So it's something that as CHMSP gives us a lot to do, to be busy with, and to work with you to improve that. But by the way, email is that kind of thing. And I think that what we have seen is that customers are happy with email. And when I show the performance we have to Outlook customers, they can just say, I want that. That's what we see now.
Yeah, that's great, Danelli. And just make it clear, we have no, as HCL, we have no intention of providing that mail service. Here are the folks and a few others that are going to do that. The next question, and this one's actually for Alex. The question was, they were wondering a little bit more about, Sophie, the deployment, what type of, OSs you're using in the containers, but are you using HCL Now for your deployment of Sophie? What's the relationship between those two?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And so the answer to the environment is no. We have completely separate environments for the Sophie. The Sophie sandbox is the environment where users of the Sophie application can deploy for a period of time. And our sandbox it's designed for trying things out. It's not designed for production use. So it's not fully isolated or secure. The HCL Now environment is a very carefully managed environment with a lot of tight restrictions around it. As I said, each customer installation is isolated and separate, whereas the Sophie sandbox is a shared environment. So Sophie is very much just for trying things out. It's not for production data. It's not for secure connections back to your environment. HCL Now is that secure production environment. On the question about which OSs are used in the containers, we don't mandate as a platform team which OSs each of the products uses. So they each pick one that's appropriate to their products. But what we tend to use ourselves and recommend to the product teams is using the UBI container images from Red Hat. Those we find are well maintained. They are kept well up to date with security fixes. There's a selection of sizes, so you can pick the size and the APIs that you need for what you're running in the container. So those UBIs, the universal base images from Red Hat, are the ones that we generally recommend to our teams.
Great, Alex, thank you for that.
Sure.
So the next question is coming from someone we know, Keith. The question is about language support, and I want to put that out to our cloud hosting MSPs about what language support you have for the offerings that you have hosted.
I take that one. Hi.
Yeah. Hi.
So we have for connections, but as well as for mail, we have introduced every single language to our environment that HCL offers, and we will do so also in the future. So we are running 2 environments, one US, one in Europe, and not really surprising, but in Europe every single language is activated. In US much less, because it was not the demand for, I don't know, something like Czech was not there, so it's not enabled in that environment. But we are supporting every language that HCL is supporting.
That's great, Sandra. Thank you very much. Well, unfortunately, we've sort of ran out of time. There are more questions here in the chat. As I mentioned, what we'll do is we'll take all of your questions, we'll turn them into a blog post, and when we send you an email to thank you for attending, we'll get to all of those questions. But sadly, unfortunately, we can't get to all of them today. So next slide, please, Jan. So I just have a couple of closing slides. The first one here is some QR codes. If you want to learn a little bit more about what Sophie is and try something in the catalog, you'll see his QR code on the left-hand side to get access to Sophie. In the middle, there's a bit more information about HCL Now. Alternatively, contact your PSS, your product specialist, to ask a few more questions about what we're planning to offer. And myself and Dan and Stu will also work with your product specialist to answer as many questions as we possibly can. As I mentioned earlier, we're talking about HCL Now. The pricing for the managed service infrastructure is not available yet, and that will be coming to you at a future time. Next slide, please, Jan. So we've heard a lot from these fabulous folks today. I just want to reiterate, what makes them special is really their level and years of expertise. As you heard, it's being able to support the customer in the local language and actually have a presence on the ground. And they represent a great option for you to explore if you want to take your digital solutions offering to the cloud. Now, there's a few people on here like Prominic and Time to Act, IPC and Procom, and also My Solutions, who weren't able to join us today. If you use this QR code, you'll see the full listing there. So please go and read about them, ping them, talk to them, and find out what they have to offer. So last slide, please. So in closing, I want to thank all of our speakers for presenting today, pulling together all of your insight and knowledge and best practices, and thank you for sharing it with us today. As I mentioned, we'll make the recording and all the materials available. The copy of the slides is available currently, so download them from the handouts, but we will make it available. And stay tuned, there will be more information, but thank you for joining us for today's call, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks so much for joining. Take care. Bye-bye.